Hey, what's up, guys? It's Steve back with Atlantis Confirmed. Not my usual chipper self right now because this latest discovery has unnerved me. It's disturbed me because this proves without a shadow of a doubt that our government knows. And I know that makes me sound like crazy conspiracy guy. We know that our first presidents, the beginning of the country was the Freemasons, right? Okay, Mount Rushmore was carved by a Freemason also and designed. I don't want to talk too much about him because he was really big into the KKK and stuff, which I believe we are still the third people of the Popol Vuh. And we are the proto-Maya culture in their mythology that said after the cataclysm of Graham Hancock, 10,650 BCE, Göbekli Tepe, that split up, and conquer everywhere. The problem is that we spread out so much that, and over such a long period of time, that the same culture got subdivided into ethnicities and different cultures, and we all adapted the same thing the same way. We're still splitting up and conquering everywhere. They forgot to say, and by the way, once we meet together, stop conquering. We've divided so much that we've become different factions of the same third people who are still splitting up and conquering. Okay, so let's get to Mount Rushmore. Everybody knows what Mount Rushmore is, South Dakota, Black Hills. I found this in the Aneti Massif. And I found the Aneti Massif by discovering that the Serpent Mound is a topographical map of the East Coast topographic map of Africa, not the coastline, because they knew that would erode with time. When you follow it all the way up to the egg part of the Serpent Mound, you get Lake Chad, and that's where I have found the Lamasu model. I have found where the Moai come from. I have found the weird statues from Peru, their shapes. Basically, they are recreating their sacred homeland all over the world with the megalith shapes that exist naturally, that they had in their homeland for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years, because it's Africa. All right, so this is a naturally occurring rock formation that I believe was probably shaped in the past. The people who live here. By the way, these megalith builders, according to modern academia, were ethnically cleansed by a hunter tribe. So there is no trace of them as far as DNA goes because they were wiped out. They were executed. Okay, but the people who lived here for the longest time, they were executed by the war tribe, which I think follows the mythology of the proto-Maya. After the civilization split up, conquer everywhere. Okay, so already you see the geological. I mean, if I traced this outline, how much different would it be right here? And here's the thing, here's the thing. This is a true story. And you can Google this. The guy who carved this was going to put himself in there and amongst the presidents as well. There were going to be 5 figures in there, including himself, and he changed his mind at the last time, at the last minute, and took himself out in a rare flash of humility. Or they say it's because something happened when he was carving Lincoln that he had to adjust it, and because he had to turn the head, it took away too much. And I almost think that's a true story because let's stipulate that this is a match. All right. Goes down 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can even see the Lincoln face right here. By the way, I think this is supposed to be the man in the moon that they have redone. And this is the face that we see in the Denisovan scratching. I also think that this is the other cave painting face that I thought was maybe a woman's face or something. I think there's 2. I think there's the Ophiuchus skull, which I'm going to show you where that comes from, and the more feminine one. This is the more feminine one that I see. It's less the skull. Okay, so he turned that into Lincoln, and look. right here, there is our, what have I been calling him? The Pink Floyd, the Pink Floyd guy. He looks like the, from the wall. And this is the same shape that is the necropolis aerial view of Malta. It's our squatter deity. He's also the face of Viracocha. These are the tears right here. So he's turned, and Lincoln, his head is turned slightly more in the Mount Rushmore than he is up here. So I think this is a true story, that he was carving it to be like this, and something happened here that he had to turn his head slightly. That took too much of this material away, and he did something else there instead. I'm going to show you what he did. And because he had to turn Lincoln's head this way, he turned Washington more out, because this figure should have been staring more to that figure's left. But I think it would have made them look like they were having a conversation. And I don't think that's what he wanted. He didn't want it to look like they were talking to each other. He wanted it to look like they were gazing out into the, it's very totalitarian, actually. You think of the Chinese statues with them looking off into the distance, and the Nazi imagery, the where the Germans are standing there and they're looking, it's very reminiscent of that. Okay, so this was carved around the 1900 turn of the century. Okay, so let me show you other things, because this is what's disturbing. Mount Rushmore needs to be laser scanned immediately. But before I get to that, let me just show you how. See how right here is, this is George Washington's shoulder. It does it right. He has matched this exactly. Look at his hair. That comes out right there. This, once we stipulate, once I get to it, this is a match. This is where it goes down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can even see where the eyes, where he's matched it, and where you would put a face here is the same as Jefferson. Like I said, I think he turned him. This was meant to be this way because he was originally going to be staring this way, but because he had to turn Lincoln's head, he didn't want it to look like they're having a conversation. So, look, we've even got the fold of, that's his shoulder right there. So that is Washington. That is Jefferson. This is Roosevelt. He was going to put himself there, but he had to turn the head, so he put something else there. You want to see what else he put there? Let's see. Do you see it? What? Oh no! What is that? Let's put it. Let's lighten it up a little bit. You see it? You see it better there? First of all, we've seen the zigzag cut in rocks, right? That's not natural. It's an Ankh, symbol for life. See it in that one? And he's made this an electric bolt. It's very interesting. He has put a spark of electricity, synaptic clef, somebody told me, which I also think is going on in the Michelangelo's creation. It's called creation. God has not touched man yet, and yet man is awakened. I think what they're suggesting there is the synaptic clef. They knew about electricity. I mean, of course he did. That's 1900, so, that's right around the time. But again, okay, here's where it gets creepy, all right? He put the symbol of life there, but that's something else, but I'm going to get back to it too. It's many things, actually. I'm going to show you this right here. Here we go. There is esoteric carvings all through this. There's a skull. And here's the messed up thing. The esoteric carvings in this match the esoteric carvings in this. He knew this place. Somebody has figured out in antiquity the same thing that I figured out, traced it back, and this matches feature where they secretly carved this in here. He matched this in here. I'll show you another one. Look on the top. There is a skull on top of, look at those eyes right there. And this is in the Popol Vuh. That's monkey. That's monkey's face. They turned in the Popol Vuh. They turned that into an underworld god. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, so let's just take it as our template, right? What do we know about the template? First thing. Okay, there's the dividing line 3/4 of the way down. What should be in the bottom right corner? What do we find in the bottom right corner? It's the Punisher logo, right? It's the skull. There he is. Eye, and it's the teeth, right? There's the Punisher logo. It's Darth Vader. What do we have up here? There it is. Eye. You're going to have to look these up yourself and look on your computer yourself, okay? But that he has completely, he knew what I'm teaching you, and he found all of the secret symbols that are in this place, and he has remade it symbol for symbol that are in this geographic. And plus, there's like weird stuff. There's like a hall of records on here and stuff. And the big KKK thing that he was into stuff. That is still the bird culture of divide and split up and conquer everywhere. Play with the contrast. The Ankh will jump out at you. The skull here will jump out at you. There's another skull right there jumping out at you. Here's what else I want to show you in this that I think you can see clearly in this one is he has placed the Freemason compass and square. This is what the compass and square looks like, of course, with the gnosis. And remember, that is our little orphan Annie decoder ring. As far as finding, you just place that on any esoteric work, and the points will point out the symbols and the gnosis. I'm giving you the knowledge of this. Okay, so there it is. And it looks like the Eye of Providence, or the G is right there. This is the bottom, and that's the top, and there's the Eye of Providence in the middle there. There's so much going on in here. Just play with get a real clear photo, play with the contrast, look, and you'll see skulls. You're going to see everything. Find this picture of the Aneti Plateau, match it together. It's all there. It is all there. He knew about this place. I wonder if he visited it himself and placed it everywhere. Okay, so here I'm going to teach you where. So this was our deity in the sky that they saw. Go see Symbols of an Alien Sky. Explains everything. That's Mars. That's Venus. That's Saturn. Jupiter is back here too, but we can't see it because Saturn is too close. This created this alignment between our planets, and this was the plasma charge we saw in the sky. And it eventually destroyed the world. And I believe that was maybe up to 175,000 years ago, because Ultra Man is a tribute to it. All right, so this became the symbol that we find all over the world, known as Squatter Man. And I've kind of drawn him out here a little bit. Squatty, the return of Squatty. All right, so this is the symbol that we see: a head with the arms up, the stick figure with the feet, and the symbols on the side. If you draw snakes coming down the side there, you have your Kocha, you have Ophiuchus, you have every engraving you've ever seen with people holding two things. Okay, so because it's my belief that there's probably, because this was a fluid charge going on, that there were probably, dendritic spikes, dendritic tendrils of electricity going through it at this point that made it look like he's holding snakes. Again, it's like being inside a plasma ball that has this as a constantly fluxing image in between. So, if we just draw these snakes in and put the arms up here, I'm going to show you everything that this is. It's Viracocha, right? And it's the what they call the God cell thing, which is a very lovely theory, but this is actually what it is. It is Jesus on the cross right there. These on the side become like the stigmata in his hands were represented. It's the Buddha shape because the Buddha is the inside. See how that's the head, that's the shoulders, these are the knees where you would sit. This is also like the Genghis Khan hat, you know? Okay, and the buffalo hat and stuff. So that's where that all comes from. Okay, so what I also want you to look at is the fact that this kind of makes down here like this sort of like, you could almost see this as eyes and then this sort of buck teethy kind of look, right? Kind of like Göbekli Tepe right there. If these are the eyes, that's the big tooth in the middle. And you see, by the way, that's not Göbekli Tepe, that is Chaco Canyon. And you couldn't tell because they're the same thing. Chaco Canyon in New Mexico is the American Göbekli Tepe. If you place the Freemason compass and square at the top and the bottom, you get the pyramid. And you also get again, here's the compass and the square. The pyramidium is they're recreating the cosmic mountain of that. The pyramidium, what did I do with it? The pyramidium at the top here, became the Ben stone. Okay, so this also then where all these lines are, look how that matches up. This is the real Göbekli Tepe. As you see, it's a match for Chaco Canyon. They're still creating the Squatter Man deity image. I'm sorry, the plasma deity image. This was the original Mexico City planning, so they're using it for their city planning as well. This also matches Plato's Atlantis. It also matches Carthage. There were many Atlantis cities. There may have been one major one, and that may have been Carthage. Not Carthage. The Recot structure that has been swallowed over. That may be the main one of Plato's. But Plato's story is it's so detailed because it's the plasma deity image in story form that you could recreate it. It's just like the Popol Vuh. All these mythos were created so that you could remember how to draw this hidden image over time. So let's go back to our doodle here. I should have just made this a whole separate video. Do you see how these become eyes and this becomes the nose and the heavy brow ridge? Yeah, that's where we get, that's what they're recreating for the Moai face. These are our mud people who remember the plasma deity in the sky 175,000 years ago because they were Neanderthal. Okay? Now, this is the Chai symbol for life. It's a virtual match. I think you just add one more stroke at the top here, and it's the symbol for forbidden in China. Okay, so this again is, and it's the symbol for life. It comes from our plasma deity. If you look at the negative space, take out this positive space, and just make these two. This is also Stonehenge. It's every monument that has the upside down U. This is what they're recreating. Okay, see that these are the sides. This is the dangle part. They are recreating the cosmic mountain. They're recreating the Squatter Man. The cosmic mountain is also represented there. Okay, so let's I was showing you where the high is in the doodle. So this became the high. There it is, just the upside down U, and you could count that as the extra. But that's you find that everywhere. That is that symbol. This is also the three chambers that we find everywhere, from the Altamira Man cave to the Japanese megalith in Yukushima. This is where that design comes from. Okay, further, if you take these again as eyes, and you take these as like a half a skull, right? And you take you take the arm and you continue through, because this is also where this is where the compass and the square comes from. There's the I guess it's that's the square, and then you put the compass right there, and that makes that, or I'm sorry, the compass right there, and that makes that the pyramidion, and that's why this is the eye of Providence. Look on the back of your dollar bill. That's the eye. This is the pyramid. That's the eye. This is where this comes from. This is the gnosis, and that makes the squatter man, the plasma deity head, the gnosis. You now know about gnosis, knowledge, God, G for God. This is the secret of all this. It's also the symbol for life. So yeah, let's show that. Here's the head of the life symbol here. This is where the Ankh comes from. It's the same symbol for life for ancient Egypt, is the same symbol for life as the ancient Hebrew. What we're looking at here is the birth of Hebrew, because this would have been the first symbol. This is also the God of the Old Testament. I'm a vengeful God. I'm a wrathful God. That doesn't sound like a benevolent, loving God. All right, and since they also worship this as the feminine mother goddess, Mary, M, it's also the feminine symbol. It makes the plus. So if you right straight down and then connect the dots, or you could just even use that. But that's where the feminine symbol, the upside down plus with the circle top comes from. So we've got a lot going on here. This also explains where our half skull comes from. This is a skull, an eye. That's an eye. These are the teeth. And this is why I've been seeing the mark cut either way. I hadn't been able to explain why is this interchangeable. I was thinking maybe it was because they're reflecting the heavens. So, and also because it's hidden. You can just flip it and it's hidden. But I think it's okay to go either way with the streak through the eye. By the way, look at that lightning bolt go through. That's your Ziggy Stardust Aladdin saying. That's where that comes from. Let's take a look. Okay, so here's an eye. It's the Moai head. It's also this guy that we find at Saxe Woman. Let me bring him up again. See, all you do is really just form the crosses with the arms. Connect these, and you've got this guy. That's where that comes from. Again, I think that Hollywood knows. We've seen the Masons knew. Our government knows. This is the same image. And it's being used. And look, this is a guy from like Maori tribe costume. This is the dead skull that they put it in. See, there he is in the. There's the eyes, the Mr. Bubbles, whatever the hell that thing is. Darth Vader, because Star Wars is a cult, and there we go. Also Disney. Yep. It all comes from plasma deity. There it is. Listen. Some weird stuff has been happening in my life here. I have had to replace all of my electronic equipment. And my cell phone just died. My computer wouldn't even turn on. My internet has gone out repeatedly in a place that it never went out before prior to making these videos. I am not a conspiratorial person, but I'm also not an idiot to ignore weird things. I've had to spend like $2,000 in the last 2 weeks to replace all my electronic equipment. Please help share this and get this information out in case something happens to me. I'm not paranoid. But just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not really after you, right? So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm stepping on toes, if I'm saying stuff you're not supposed to say. Share this information as much as you can. There is a power to this stuff. I have already felt it. You should see some of the responses that I get. The vitriol, how angry people are. It's like, I'm just a guy with 2,500 roughly subscribers. What are you so angry about? You don't have to watch this. There's tons of other content. I realize it's the internet. I realize it's YouTube, and you could put a fuzzy kitten video on YouTube, and people would hate on it, right? So a certain amount of that, and I'm sure everybody who has put stuff like this on the internet gets that stuff. But I think there might be something more to it. I think this image still has a power on people. I think that this image still affects people viscerally, whether they know it or not. Like I said, like we know that outside occurrences can affect us because there are people who get in bad car accidents. 2 weeks later, the hair that grows out is white. So that can affect us, and there are things that can affect us as a society. Going through this pandemic will affect all of us in the entire world in some way, psychologically. After this, it's going to have long-reaching cycle for everybody who had to go through this time. Imagine seeing this in the sky every night, and you're primitive and don't know what's going on, and then it destroys your world. That's way more than a car crash. So this is imbued in our psyches. We have a lizard brain. There are things that we do that we have no idea where it comes from. And I think that might be some of the vitriol that I'm receiving from doing these videos. It's not me that they're having the reaction to. It's their innate, instinctual, inbred fear and aversion and defense mechanism against that is built into all of us, and I think that also might be what inhibits some people from seeing the symbols. You don't want to see, you don't want to know. It was that psychologically scarring on us as a whole, that there is a built-in repulsion to this, to us. And I think that may be one of the reasons why it's like scary occult, and I think it also explains the power that it has, why we're attracted to it, and we're afraid of it at the same time. And that is a very powerful tool if you want to make money or control people, or both. All right, so please share, please like, please comment, get people to subscribe, all that stuff. Unaccustomed as I am, I never say it, but please do all that stuff. So this is Steve. I got so much. I could just make videos all day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, as always, guys. I love hearing your ideas in the comments. See you in the next one. Peace.